On the Toriko helicopter, Toriko and Tom discuss the gourmet match. It seems that match has now managed to eliminate all illegal ingredients. Livebearer has taken responsibility for managing order in the casino. After a conversation, Toriko skydives to a certain area and bids farewell to Tom. President Aieru walks alone in a cave, facing the entire Bishokukai group, from head chef to sous chefs. The eldest among them, Doors, introduces himself as the executive head chef and asks Aieru about his intentions. Aieru smiles and states that he just wants to talk to one person, the boss. A white monkey comes forward, introducing itself as Bile and expressing the desire for Aieru to taste its appetizer. The sous chefs immediately unleash their techniques to restrain Aieru, with assistant head chef Koromato explaining that some of the younger chefs have become stronger and want to test their abilities on him due to the significant evolution of their gourmet cells. The monkey creature takes flight, but Aieru effortlessly neutralizes all their supposedly strongest techniques, surprising Nicene, who informs his subordinates that Aieru was once known as the world's top figure. He commands the group to unleash their full strength to stop him, and although they intensify their killing intent, Aieru casually steps forward. He activates his Conqueror's Haki, a power of sheer attraction, causing the entire group to tremble. After suppressing the Bishokukai chefs for a while, the boss named Midora finally steps forward. Midora is one of the 3 disciples of Saint Acacia, akin to Chairman Aieru, and he is the youngest and most favored by Saint Acacia. Aieru desires to enjoy God alongside Midora, but Midora immediately refuses, stating that he will take God for himself and keep it exclusively. Despite the potential outbreak of war, Midora asserts that once he finishes speaking, Aieru should leave, and if he stays, he will be killed. Aieru declares that this will be their final conversation, emphasizing that he still sees Midora as a younger brother. He warns that if God appears, he won't show mercy. After Aieru's response, Midora vanishes. Returning home, Aieru indulges in hundreds of dishes. Setsuno criticizes Midora for being foolish to reject Aieru's conditions. Aieru believes that in the future, only the 4 heavenly kings might share a table and savor such worldly delicacies. Setsuno observes Aieru eating voraciously, suspecting his intention to awaken all the gourmet cells in his body, indicating the situation is becoming increasingly serious. At the Gourmet Hotel, after a long break from work, Komatsu was about to receive a scolding from the manager. However, seeing the positive reaction of customers to the dish he just prepared, the manager hesitates and decides to go elsewhere. Meanwhile, Toriko is alone in a forest, preparing equipment to search for clues about the 6th ingredient. Unbeknownst to him, someone lurks behind. Toriko enters the Skill Garden forest, discovering colorful crystal flowers, paper lotus flowers, and a large tree known as the lacquer tree, with resin harder than premium cement. While investigating, a Skill Garden craftsman warns Toriko to speak quietly, or else it will arrive. It turns out to be the devil plant horse, hungry and agitated. Toriko uses flying fork and flying knife, but it evades swiftly, even faster than an angry bear. After catching his breath, Toriko remembers the lacquer tree, uses the flying fork on it, and the resin immobilizes the unfortunate horse. Toriko delivers a thunderous punch, rendering the creature unconscious. The craftsmen thank Toriko, as the horse prevented them from working. The mysterious observer revealed as Manchi, a sushi fortune teller, greets Toriko. Then Toriko goes to Manchi's restaurant to enjoy some sushi. He informs Manchi that he is searching for the 6th ingredient of Aieru but is unaware of its location. Despite Coco's attempts at prediction, they are unable to obtain any conclusive results. Manchi believes that all they need is a strong belief in life. While Manchi philosophizes, Toriko devours hundreds of sushi dishes. Toriko's 6th training ingredient is located in the Lost Forest. Manchi, upon hearing this, screams, causing a tremor in the sky. He deems it a significant prophecy, emphasizing the need to gather sufficient ingredients. The next day, Komatsu is called in to assist Toriko. To save on fuel costs, the pilot has Komatsu jump down. Luckily, the seat is equipped with an automatic parachute, preventing potential disaster. Toriko quickly goes out to welcome Komatsu. He introduces the place where they are standing as the 2nd landscape garden. This garden is specifically dedicated to researching ingredients from the ocean. Inside, it resembles a miniature ecosystem with various marine species, as they are nurtured in an extremely ideal environment, enhancing their flavors compared to naturally raised counterparts. Toriko and Komatsu sit in a sea turtle boat, diving underwater to a renowned underwater restaurant serving premium seafood. They choose seats by the glass window to enjoy both their meal and the scenic beauty of the ocean. Toriko orders the restaurant's 2 best-selling dishes, slow-cooked beef with potatoes and oyster chowder pasta. The beef is tender, paired with creamy potatoes, and the pasta is immersed in a rich oyster sauce. To finish, they indulge in a refreshing glass of plum Elan soda. After the meal, Toriko reveals that he is searching for an ingredient in the Lost Forest. As the world's largest forest with an unknown ingredient location, Toriko sought the guidance of sushi fortune teller Manchi. Manchi explains that by gathering the right ingredients for a feng shui sushi roll, it will guide Toriko to his destination like a compass. Meanwhile, member of the IGO organization suddenly approached Toriko to reveal shocking news: the stew pond, renowned as the treasure of the gourmet world, has been frozen. If the freezing condition persists and the temperature continues to drop, the survival of fish species in the pond will be threatened. Due to the severity of the issue, all members of the 4 Heavenly Kings have been summoned, and it has been a while since the brothers gathered. This place is an ideal habitat for penguin chicks, so it really like here. Toriko quickly sensed the aroma of seaweed emanating from below the water, and the pond seemed like a high-class hot pot in nature. Toriko came here to catch a freshwater fish and Rin quickly followed in Komatsu. She didn't seem to care much. The desired fish not only has an extremely delicious taste but also possesses a luxurious and elegant appearance, resembling royalty, hence being called the madam of all fish in the world. At this point, Coco began using his precognitive abilities to determine the location of madam fish. He discovered an ice hole used for fishing in front, and Coco immediately dropped the bait down. However, the success rate of catching the madam fish is only 40%. Nearby, Sani used his thousands of hair strands to sense the smallest vibrations at the bottom of the lake, while Zebra did the same by releasing sound waves. Komatsu didn't rush to catch madam fish because he had to take care of the penguin chick. On this side, before fishing, Toriko had to consume a block of cold ice to cool down in the summer heat, tasting like a high-class hot pot. However, during the recent times of fishing all morning, they only caught a few ugly fish that no one knew the species of. It seems like madam fish also sensed the danger, so it dove deep under the lake bottom and hid carefully. The worst part is that Sani kept catching some weird-looking fish, and he even body-shamed them disgustingly. At this moment, Toriko smelled a faint aroma, and then the eyes of the other 3 Heavenly Kings quickly focused on Komatsu. It turns out that a madam fish had taken his bait. The 4 Heavenly Kings beside him enthusiastically cheered to encourage Komatsu. After a few minutes of struggling with the fishing rod, Komatsu finally succeeded in catching a grade 83 madam fish. Suddenly, an eagle swooped down from nowhere trying to snatch the fish, but luckily for the eagle's meat wasn't tasty. The 4 Heavenly Kings only chased it away instead of harming it. After finding the madam fish, Toriko and Komatsu continue to the Firewater Island to search for ingredients to make sushi. The fish on the island borrow the alcohol to drown their sorrows and often forget the way back home because the surrounding seas are made up of various types of extremely strong alcoholic beverages. The boat quickly arrived at the Firewater Island, also known as the Drunken Kingdom, alongside the Champagne Island and the Cocktail Island, where various types of mixed drinks are found. After bidding farewell to the boat captain, Toriko and Komatsu set foot on the island to find the world's best rice vinegar, known as the king of all vinegars. It is made from a high-quality alcohol yeast on the island. Both are eager to taste it because the place has a high-grade alcohol waterfall, causing the animals here to be intoxicated every day, paying no attention to hunting. Toriko immediately took a sip of the delicious-smelling alcohol, which only had 40 degrees, making it suitable for anyone to drink. Then, they found a stream of shining golden beer, a tree full of French fries to be enjoyed with beer, making it all delicious. Even when it rained, it wasn't ordinary water but a high-quality champagne rain. After a while, they found a great 48 emerald dragon, rumored to carry a lot of wine on its back. Coincidentally, Jiru, who is currently on the back of this dragon, invited them up to enjoy the wine lake. The wine here is extremely delicious, and Jiru regularly drinks wine for 7 days a week. Converted to market value, a small bottle of wine taken from the back of the Emerald Dragon is worth billions. Its rarity and value are evident. After 3 days of dining on the beer island, Toriko also brought back the best rice vinegar for Manchi. However, the ingredients they have are still not enough to make sushi. Toriko comes up with the idea to seek Teppei's advice, thinking about the information obtained from Jiro. Based on Teppei's years of experience and training, he reveals that ant armor is made from coffee beans, the head is made from milk, and the abdomen is made from syrup. When boiled, it creates a drinking called ant coffee. Teppei also wants to introduce a few other ingredients to Toriko and Komatsu. Recently, Teppei has revived some important ingredients and is both worried and afraid of violating Aigo laws. One such ingredient is the world's most foul-smelling fruit, the bomb durian, nicknamed the stink bomb, which looks like a weapon. The Aigo organization is restricting its release into the market. Toriko and Komatsu set out to find this bomb durian. As they step outside, the intense smell prevents everyone from going except Toriko and Komatsu. Toriko mentions that the bomb durian is about 100 kilometers away, and he can still smell the durian faintly here. This smell is not yet the strongest of durians. When the fruit ripens and falls to the ground, it releases a foul stench worldwide. People say that plants within 100 kilometers wither, and fish that smell it float to the surface and die. Despite the odor, it is considered the most delicious fruit globally, so its taste should not be judged solely by its smell. Komatsu wonders how Toriko, with a nose 10 times more sensitive than normal, can remain so calm. Little does he know that Toriko is also trying to maintain the image of a professional gourmet hunter, while a chef like Komatsu should understand him. Komatsu mocks Toriko for enduring the strong smell. After they finish talking about the scent, both of them age several years in appearance. This journey is indeed filled with stench and hardship. Soon, it becomes dark, but they continue to move forward in this foul-smelling atmosphere. The smell becomes increasingly strong, and finally, they reach the bomb durian. The faces of the two men upon seeing the durian tree were truly comical. As the ripe durian was about to fall, their clothes instantly disintegrated due to its smell. Both of them stared blankly in the final moments, and never before has a journey to find food been this difficult. The stench permeates so strongly that even people far away can smell it, not to mention that Toriko and Komatsu are right there. Sani, with an air of arrogance, took a step forward, smelled the odor, and immediately fainted. The two young men in this place lay unconscious, looking clueless. Toriko woke up, mumbled something nonsensical, and promptly fainted again. After a month of struggling, both of them conquered the foul smell of the durian. As they entered the restaurant, everyone ran away. Sani walked in and fainted immediately due to the stench. Komatsu and Toriko were overjoyed, tears streaming down their faces because they no longer had that horrifying smell on them. The solution to neutralize the durian smell was to eat it. Even Terry, the loyal wolf, had to keep his distance from Toriko for quite some time due to the odor of the durian. Now, to make feng shui sushi, only one missing ingredient remains, which is seaweed according to Mr. Manchi. Toriko has no information about seaweed, but thanks to Terry, they can rely on its scent to determine. This is where Toriko used to live, and he has an old friend here. On the nearby mountain, a handsome man introduces himself as a member of the Gourmet Knights and apologizes for mistaking Toriko as an intruder. Takemaru also comes out to welcome Toriko, and Toriko notices that Takemaru has become more refined and mature through the challenging battles they have experienced. The leader of the Gourmet Knights is also Toriko's old close friend, Aieru. Aieru greets Toriko and Komatsu. On the way to the Gourmet Knights' residence, the members introduce themselves. Raimaru from the Blue Sky group, Yukimaru from the same group, Kajimaru with a scarred face from the Hidden Lead group, and Tsukimaru from the Milky Way group. Toriko praises the group for being all handsome men, then goes to pat Yukimaru on the shoulder, feeling he is too thin. Aieru scolds Toriko, stating that they have experience with proper eating habits. Both of them argue back and forth, exhausting each other. On the other side, Takemaru asks Komatsu about the ingredient they are looking for today, which is Iko Nori, a type of seaweed. There is a nearby village called Iko Land where seaweed grows on the back of an electric turtle. Takemaru says that all the food in this place is pure, with a simple diet, and seaweed is the best. Toriko eavesdrops on the conversation and relies entirely on Takemaru. In the evening, Aieru and Toriko talk about the old days, both having a common goal of obtaining the god ingredient. Aieru has completed his entire menu, with mostly pure ingredients matching his restrained eating habits. Of course, God is the main dish he aims for. And Aieru promises to share it with Toriko if he obtains it. The two argue back and forth throughout the night. The next morning, Takemaru leads both of them to gather seaweed. He shares that the village uses everything from nature, no Wi-Fi, no phones, no gas, and no service personnel. Life is peaceful and quiet over the months and years. An old man in strange clothes throws bombs at rabbits for being disruptive, then scolds Komatsu for daring to look at him. The village chief, Nanchi, reveals that he is Manchi's twin brother and discloses that there are up to 5 people like them. Everything here is a gift from nature. In the evening, Nanchi leads the group to the turtle with seaweed, which provides electricity for the entire town. What Toriko needs is a thin layer on its back, and that is seaweed with a pure, sparkling scent. The recent bad weather has prevented the turtle from absorbing enough energy to supply electricity to the town. Therefore, Nanchi asks Toriko to help manually replenish energy. Toriko, with his strength, completes this physically demanding task. As soon as he finishes, he breathes heavily, and the villagers, along with a herd of energy turtles, come over to welcome Toriko. Working tirelessly from night to morning, Toriko has obtained tons of seaweed. They express their gratitude and then return to Manchi's sushi shop with many ingredients they have diligently searched for. As for the Durian Bomb, it needs to be placed in a bag because the fruit is so putrid that the smell can't be tolerated. Quickly, a makeshift arena is set up, and Manchi prepares the ritual and performs the cooking process by wrestling with the ingredients. This is Manchi's way of expressing gratitude and love for the ingredients. The more intense the struggle, the more he values the food. After 3 days and nights of wrestling in the arena, Manchi completes a gigantic feng shui sushi, which will guide Toriko and Komatsu to the Lost Forest. The length of this sushi roll is supposed to reach thousands of meters, and its top has touched the 9th layer of clouds. At this point, the feng shui sushi starts shaking violently as if it's about to collapse. Indeed, right after that, the gigantic sushi roll falls to the ground, creating a powerful shockwave. The exact location where it fell is the path leading to the lost forest. Toriko just needs to eat this sushi roll, and he will reach his destination. The ingredients used to make the sushi are all top-notch, and Toriko eagerly indulges in the delicious meal. Although the sushi is delicious, the surrounding animals dare not approach because it still retains the scent of durian. Toriko continues to enjoy the meal slowly. After eating half of the sushi roll, Toriko sees the lost forest. It is the largest forest in the world, covering a total area of 30 million square kilometers. Toriko's goal is the bubble fruit, an ingredient that no gourmet hunter has ever found. At this moment, a ninja youth attempts to steal a piece of Toriko's sushi. After being discovered, he immediately runs away. Seeing this, Toriko quickly chases after the thief. While chasing the thief, Toriko unintentionally discovers a mysterious restaurant hidden in the forest, specializing in serving hard-to-find ingredients. However, when he reaches to open the door to enter, the restaurant suddenly disappears in front of the two, and a moment later, it reappears. A voice reminds them to bow and show respect before they can enter. It turns out that the owner of the restaurant is Chef Aieru, ranked 15th among the top 100 chefs. Aieru designed her restaurant deep in the lost forest to protect the ingredients from outsiders. The restaurant is constructed from invisible wood in the gourmet world. It disappears when it senses unfamiliar approaches to protect itself. But then Toriko discovers that the thief who stole his sushi is an employee of the restaurant. The thief explains that he only took a small piece because someone else had stolen the entire sushi roll before. However, Aieru still asks him to apologize to everyone. After entering, Toriko saw the guest who had previously helped him enter the restaurant, an old man with no hair wearing a red traditional costume. Since the person was busy eating, Toriko didn't want to disturb and ordered his food first. Chef Aieru personally brought a bottle of sake extracted from seaweed, but Toriko, not knowing how to drink it properly, accidentally made the wine fly away. It turns out that the cuisine of the restaurant is very unique, and each dish has a different way of eating. Even the smallest mistake can lead to failure. For example, this super small tomato dish will break if the customer uses too much force. Here is a bowl of glowing rice, and if not eaten quickly, the rice grains will transform and become inedible. So, the lunch for the two ended without being able to eat anything. Now they understand why this restaurant cannot thrive in crowded places. If customers come in, order food, and cannot eat it, the restaurant closes. However, the old man continues to enjoy the dishes. After finishing his meal, he introduces himself as Chin, Aieru's master, the owner of Shorin Temple, and one of the gourmet living legends. Chin is a person with both power and money, with no hair, but he looks genuinely cool in Komatsu's eyes. Komatsu, knowing Chin's reputation, wants to become his disciple. Toriko asks Chin about information regarding the bubble fruit, and Chin laughs, calling the two to follow him. As they leave, Aieru thanks them for coming and invites them to return to enjoy more dishes next time. Chin asks Aieru about an old lady named Chio, and he learns that she hasn't returned. It's said that she is a top 5 chef. Chin promises to return to taste the dishes that Chio cooks next time. Chio, the first head chef of the disappearing cuisine restaurant, is also known as the genius Chio. Each of her knives is worth 100 million, and she has been recognized as a culinary genius equivalent to Setsuno, ranking 5th among the top chefs. Komatsu recalls the upcoming cooking competition and wonders how his friend is doing now. Chin reveals that Chio disappeared without reason, and since then, chefs around the world have disappeared to an alarming extent. Chio used to be the head manager at Shorin Temple and was Chin's traveling companion. After a while, Chin asks both of them to look down at their feet and sees a massive hole. Chin is the one who created this black hole and eats Toriko's sushi. Chin instructs them to observe the surroundings with sincere and respectful eyes because only then can they see where they want to go. Both bow sincerely, and a Shorin temple appears in front of them. It turns out that you have to be sincere in whatever you do. Just as they were about to step up, various traps appeared inside the Shorin temple, attacking Komatsu and Toriko. Chin tells them to trust and respect because the wood used to make this temple is not ordinary. It not only turns invisible but also attacks those with disrespectful behavior. Inside the temple, the fire is spreading wildly due to the disrespectful attitudes of Toriko and Komatsu. Toriko rushes to extinguish the fire, but as soon as it's done, the fire flares up again. Chin approaches, prays, and then conjures a giant spoon, putting the flame in his hand and extinguishing it. Without mastering the culinary rituals, touching the bubble fruit is almost impossible. The challenge outside was difficult, and inside, it's full of Komatsu's cries of frustration. Toriko used flying fork techniques to assist Komatsu, but the challenges continue. Rocks and wooden stakes continuously fall from the sky, and Toriko and Komatsu keep dodging. Chin says that when praying, the heart will be serene. Trust and putting faith in the essential principles of culinary rituals are the most crucial. Both seem to have understood something, sincerely pray, but suddenly, Toriko bursts into laughter, causing a large column to fall on his head, making him dizzy. Now both focus intensely and continue to move following Chin. In front of them, there are thousands of people like an army. Chin says that every year, about 100,000 people from young to old enter the temple to learn how to behave in cuisine. It is the strictest training place in the world. However, the people here are not guests but prisoners brought here. If they complete the tasks, they will be free, but most prisoners give up and escape. This young man is Sho, the manager of the temple, who comes to greet everyone. However, Chin introduces Toriko and Komatsu as Tom and Komi since he has a very poor memory for remembering other people's names. Toriko hopes to learn how to scoop fire like Chin, and she reveals that Chin's training is very rigorous. The 5,000-meter mountain swept the Toriko, Sani in the deadly waterfall, and it's the mountain Chin excavated from this place. Toriko admires the way this master conducts his training. Despite the cheerful atmosphere, if one accidentally dies, it would be unworthy of Chin's training program. The fongshu sushi disappears in the forest because Chin skillfully dug it up. The reality is sometimes too overwhelming. After learning about Chin's harsh training methods, Komatsu and Toriko follow Sho to begin their training. In front of them is the main Shorin temple. The culinary ritual training is divided into 3 levels: basic, intermediate, and advanced. This temple is where the final exam for the advanced level takes place. To obtain the precious bubble fruit, at least Toriko and Komatsu have to pass the advanced level, and the fruit bubble is somewhere in this magnificent garden. That's Toriko's plan, and unexpectedly, he thinks it's simple but turns out to be true. It is right under the lake in this splendid garden. Toriko touches it, and it immediately breaks. Sho believes that Toriko now resembles a predator stalking its prey. And Toriko regrets losing the opportunity to obtain the ingredient. After analyzing Toriko, Sho wants to challenge Toriko to a fight. Both enter the arena inside, and the rule is whoever says give up first will lose. While Komatsu complains from above, after this match, it will be Komatsu's turn. Toriko attacks head-on with immense power, but it doesn't hit. Continuous long-range attacks from Toriko, but Sho gracefully dodges them all, even avoiding the flying knives. Toriko doesn't underestimate his opponent anymore and seriously activates his killing intent, turning one hand into a knife and the other into a fork, unleashing a deadly technique. However, Sho still manages to evade. Toriko launches continuous close-range attacks, but Sho avoids them all effortlessly. Toriko believes that running away won't defeat him, but as he finishes speaking, Toriko's clothes are torn. It's Sho's skill called Knife Leaf. Although Toriko's strength seems to be superior and Sho doesn't appear powerful, what Sho possesses is something Toriko cannot grasp. The fight continues, Toriko uses his ultimate power, and the strength is terrifying, but Sho hasn't broken a sweat, teaching Toriko in the process. In an instant, Toriko shatters the entire arena. However, this technique is useless against Sho, and it is inaccurate. Sho believes that Toriko's strength is meaningless. And if Toriko can comprehend the culinary ritual, it can significantly improve his current situation. Finally, Toriko says give up, but they make an appointment for a rematch. The next match for Komatsu is a cooking competition in the kitchen, and the rule this time is simple: whoever finishes turning the cabbage into threads first wins. Komatsu is confident in his ability to complete it within a minute because his hand movements are quite fast. He takes out Milk's kitchen knife, and the match begins. Just as he finishes speaking, before Komatsu can cut half of the cabbage, Sho has already completed it with a normal knife. Komatsu looks at him in awe. Sho gives advice that, although Komatsu's approach and emotions towards the ingredient are excellent, there are still many unnecessary movements, and he needs to practice the culinary ritual. Toriko bows and begs Sho to cook a delicious meal so that he can appreciate Sho's skills. Toriko's wish is granted as Sho cooks, but eating like this might dislocate his hand. Eating beans with these 5-meter-long chopsticks, eating each color separately, is like a torture chamber. Part 10 of Toriko Gourmet Hunter ends here. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, share, or comment to motivate the channel to make the next video. Thank you very much.